Give me Data over Chewbacca any day.
Yeah. Matt would love a few minutes alone with Data.
You would love a few minutes alone with Chewbacca?
No, I'm just
If you had to
saying
pick one.
Data.
Data. Well, I'm Matt.
And I'm Carter.
And welcome to It's Kind of a Gray Area.
Welcome back, folks.
Yep, and I'm excited. This is another conspiracy episode.
Yes. This one does not exist, but people want you to think that it does.
This episode?
Yeah, because it's a conspiracy.
Oh, yeah.
Or you meant the topic.
I meant the topic.
Okay.
But that's interesting, too. We should dive into that one time. I love conspiracy episodes because I am all about conspiracies. I think, like a lot of different, what are they called? Like myths and legends are
Cryptids?
real. Cryptids, yes, like the Loch Ness Monster.
I knew you were going to say the Loch Ness Monster.
You have to.
I could see it in your head that you were like, you almost said it at first, and then you said like myths and legends.
Yep. This one is, did the moon landing happen? Like, was the moon landing real?
No.
Okay. And so we are going to dive into this and see exactly. I want to see what the universe says.
Right.
The big question is, in 1969, with the space race with the Russians, did we land on the moon, put a man on the moon, and come back safely then?
Yes. First off, I just want to say, like, there's a lot of stuff we'll get into here about, like, the flag was waving and the shadows don't make sense and how could we possibly have made it to the moon and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
But right off the bat, we were in a space race with Russia.
Yeah.
A fierce competition between very antagonistic countries to compete for dominance in the world of space.
Yeah, and Russia was winning at the time.
Most of the time. But here's the largest reason I don't think the moon landing was fake. Russia never questioned it. Because people think of this as like, oh, they were lying to the American people. But if that is an actual lie, it was a lie to the entire world. And the biggest people with the biggest cause to say that it was false have never claimed that it was false.
I've never even thought about that. So Russia's never claimed that it was false.
No, and you would think if we faked it, you would think if it was real, which I believe that it is, that the first thing Russia would do is say, nope, they didn't land there, they faked it.
And that's where fake news started.
And you would definitely think that once the conspiracy started of, no, they never actually made it to the moon, you would think Russia would jump on that bandwagon and be like, yeah, maybe, like, they probably did fake it. But the reason they've never done that is because that's stupid. I think if you really look at the individual complaints about its realism, that it really does start to fall apart as a conspiracy.
Yeah, so one of the biggest complaints, like you mentioned, was the flag was waving in the video.
Right.
And a flag cannot wave in the vacuum of space unless it is moved. Because an object in motion will stay in motion unless acted upon by an outside force. And in space, there is no extra force.
No.
Like, you are the force.
That is known as inertia.
Yes.
It's also the same reason that Wally was able to get back on board the spaceship using a fire extinguisher.
Oh, Wally.
Yeah, because there's nothing for him to thrust against.
Yeah.
Right? It's not like he's taking off from a planet or a rock or something.
I gotta watch that again.
But the exiting motion of the pressure in the fire extinguisher propelled him because of inertia.
So what happened was, from what we understand from videos and research we've done, is that they put the flag in the ground and they twisted the pole to kind of dig it into the moon. And so when they did that, you know, the whole thing's moving and it's just going to keep moving until someone stops it.
Yeah.
So that's how that happened, apparently.
Yes.
I still like the conspiracy that it didn't happen. But what
the moon landing didn't happen.
The moon landing didn't happen in general. So that kind of debunks that one. So what was another one?
Okay, another one is there's a famous picture of Buzz Aldrin that was taken by Neil Armstrong in which Buzz Aldrin is in the shadow of the lunar landing module.
Yes.
But Buzz Aldrin is fairly well illuminated, which has caused a lot of people to say there has to be a second light source. Well, like, there's no way this guy is standing in a shadow, but we're able to see him fully illuminated. I think this just comes from a fundamental misunderstanding of how space works. Because people are like, no, that's not possible. But they're basing that off of sci-fi. They're not basing that off of their scientific research into rocketry and celestial movements through space.
Well, yeah, and also they're basing it off of their observation through life.
Right.
You know, like, that's not how that works. It's like, well, that's not how that works here.
Yeah.
But it works on the moon.
The reason you can see Buzz Aldrin is because the light is bouncing off of the surface and back on him. And not only that, Neil Armstrong is standing directly in front of him in a very white spacesuit, which is also reflecting a significant amount of light back onto him. Both of those in cinema would be referred to as either a bounce or a fill light, which means that it's bouncing light off of something else, the light source that is the sun, reflecting it back onto him and creating that light, which is why you're able to see him. It's not because they had a second light source, it's just because the lunar surface is reflective. And if it weren't, we wouldn't know the moon existed, because we wouldn't see it.
So I'm hearing a lot of facts that from our research and a couple new ones from you that really push me to believe that this actually happened.
Yes.
I don't want to, because I like to fight authority.
Right.
I really don't want to. But I really logically might have to concede.
Another thing, think of the hundreds of thousands of people involved in the space program, all the way from, like, the head of the command center down to the person who's just, like, wiping the glass on the space shuttle. All of those people would have to maintain this lie, not only during the time, but throughout the rest of their lives, and maintain that lie to their family and loved ones. Not a single person of hundreds of thousands of people involved could ever let slip that was fake without the whole thing, like, being called into question.
Yeah.
Outside of it already being called into question, which is just, the more people you involve in a lie, the less possible that lie being maintained becomes.
But, like, if it came out now that was fake, do you think it would affect anything?
No.
I don't think it would affect anything.
No, I really don't. As far as, like, technology or American politics or anything, no, I don't think it would change anything.
No, but the space race did really push us forward in technology.
Yes.
Yeah, any type of, like, a big achievement that especially a country is trying to achieve, it really pushes all of the top minds to come together and to create. And a lot of times that creation, like it's not just one thing. It's like thousands of creations.
Well, actually, that's an interesting point, because the space race would have been impossible without World War II. Because of the advancements in German rocketry that were achieved by the Nazi Party, a lot of those scientists were absorbed into Operation Paperclip in the United States, and then those scientists were then put onto the space program to help develop rockets to get us to the moon. If it weren't for World War II, which I'm not saying that World War II is a great thing to have had happen, it's probably the single most horrible thing in recorded history, to be honest. You can't deny the fact that we wouldn't have gotten to the moon as quickly if it weren't for those rockets. You're right. Like, you know, those things pull us together and cause innovation out of necessity, which lead to these projects. There's a fantastic video online of this guy coming up to Buzz Aldrin and accusing him of lying about the space program and the moon landing. And this guy's going off like, you're a liar, you need to apologize to America because you're making all of this up. And then Buzz Aldrin just finally gets fed up and just decks this guy in the face.
And Buzz is like 80?
He's in his 70s or 80s at that point.
70s or 80s.
Oh, he's an old man, but that guy still got one hell of a right hook, apparently, because that guy went down fast. But, you know, think about how disrespectful of a thing that is to accuse someone, not just on principle of them being a liar, because that's a insult, I think most of us
to character, to your character.
Yeah, it's insulting, but it's not, you know, the end of the world.
Yeah.
But there were casualties of the space race. You know, brave people who lost their lives from an accident where a spaceship got caught on fire and they were all incinerated in that explosion.
Yeah.
And for those people to be as close as they were, working on the same mission as they were, for the same country at the same time. Imagine being Buzz Aldrin and you have these people that you were close friends with who died in that explosion, and someone comes up to you and tells you that the whole thing was fake. I would punch them too.
Man.
Like, I mean, that's so...
I'm glad he did it.
Yeah, beyond all the speculation, it's incredibly disrespectful to postulate that because of the fact that there were people who sacrificed a lot to make that happen.
Yeah.
I mean, Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin themselves, along with the third guy no one remembers, they had no idea what to expect when they landed there. Like, they could have touched down on the surface and just sunk into, like, 60 feet of lunar dust and just died there on the surface.
That's true.
Like, no one knew what to expect. Maybe there was some kind of strange, like, space rock that turned into, like, a little rock monster that would attack and eat them. Like, I mean, that's pretty far-fetched, but...
I don't know. I saw it on Galaxy Quest. Right. It happens.
Right. It was a very dangerous undertaking, and to discredit the entire thing is just... It's ridiculous in my mind.
All right, well, let's just go ahead and put this thing to bed. Let's just rock, paper, scissors this thing to find out, what the universe knows. Because the universe knows whether this is true or false.
Yeah.
Has anyone... I bet no one's ever asked the universe.
Yeah, let's go and put this thing to bed. It's well past its bedtime.
Yep. Okay.
So, you're the conspiracy theorist.
Yeah, so
You believe in the Loch Ness Monster.
Jump in the gun. I do. Stand by the Loch Ness Monster if it's sedated.
Right.
So I will take that it is a conspiracy.
Okay. I will take that it was real. The moon landing happened. Deal with it. Russia did. The rest of us need to as well.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's do this.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Okay. So far.
Okay.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
There you go.
Rock shatters those scissors right out of the nighttime sky.
Yep.
So there you go. The moon landing was real, and anyone who disagrees will have to take that up with Buzz.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So today's Would You Rather is space-themed, fitting with the moon landing, which took place in space. Not a lot of people know that, but the moon is in space.
Yes, and we are too, actually.
Yeah, technically we're all in space. Would you rather live in the Star Trek universe or live in the Star Wars universe?
Okay. When you were almost done that sentence, I knew where you were going with it.
Was it the second time that I said the word star?
Yes. I'm a bit of a Trekkie.
Right.
Not super hardcore, but definitely a bigger fan of Star Trek than Star Wars.
Yeah.
Give me Data over Chewbacca any day.
Yeah. Matt would love a few minutes alone with Data.
You would love a few minutes alone with Chewbacca?
No, I'm just
If you had to pick one.
Data.
Thank you. That's all I wanted.
Maybe that should have been the Would You Rather.
Would you rather play 7 Minutes in Heaven
with Data or Chewbacca?
Data would be a gentle kisser.
Yes.
All right, if I lived in the Star Trek universe, I would have to deal with the Borg, and I'm going off of like negative aspects.
Right.
And like the Romulans, they're kind of, I don't know, they protect their borders.
They've got no chill.
They're pretty tough.
Yeah.
Yeah, they invaded the neutral zone without warning. You guys got to watch it.
Yeah.
But I would mostly...
Come on, guys. It's the neutral zone.
Come on. This is where we have tea together.
Right.
But if I was in the Star Trek universe, I probably wouldn't be on Picard's ship.
Probably not.
Just knowing the standard of quality of people in that ship. I would probably go with that. The Star Wars universe, I know there's troopers everywhere.
Right.
Invading our privacy.
I mean, depending on what point in time in the Star Wars universe, sure, yeah.
Yeah, it seems like everyone's always fighting the rebellion, and everyone's like so excited because they fought the rebellion, and then like they win, and then it just comes back. Yeah. I feel like you're constantly trying to be enslaved like by the universe. Yeah. So I go Star Trek.
I think I'm gonna go Star Wars here because of the fact that the Force exists, so there's a chance that I'll have cool like telepathic telekinesis powers.
Oh yeah.
And then even if I don't, I can still find like an old lightsaber off of like a dead Jedi or Sith body, and then now I've got a lightsaber.
Yeah, they're everywhere.
And if none of that stuff works out, I'll just steal a ship off of someone and then go be a smuggler like Han Solo and just live like as an intergalactic bandit.
Okay, so this episode we have all learned that the moon landing, according to the universe, happened.
Can we put this to bed now? Can we? The universe itself believes in the moon landing.
I don't want to just put this to bed. I want to put it to coma.
Okay.
Vicious sleep.
Forever.
As the answer for forever.
Yes.
Yep. And you would live in the Star Wars universe. I would live in the Star Trek universe.
Yes.
And hopefully Thanos will use his powers and, mix the universes so we can actually talk a little bit.
But in the meantime, you can distract yourself with the massive backlog of all of our other episodes, which, by the way, we've talked about space a handful of times. And we've talked about Star Trek here or there and Star Wars a handful.
Loch Ness.
Yes, the Loch Ness.
Bigfoot.
Those things pop up from time to time, so go check them out.
Yep, but in the meantime, remember to comment, like, and push that subscribe button.
Mm-hmm. And keep Windex inside your spacesuit in case you sneeze.
Ring the notification bell.
Mm-hmm. Go to the moon if you want to lose weight. It's way faster than dieting.
Oh, yeah. And never call Buzz Aldrin a liar.
Don't.
Just don't do it.
No.
And as always,
IKAGA. Yup.